In the stillness of the night on May 1st, 2011, two modified Black Hawk helicopters sliced through the shadowy landscape of Pakistan. They carried with them a cargo far more precious than gold and more perilous than dynamite. Inside were 24 of the United States' most elite warriors, names that would forever remain hidden from the public eye. Faces never to appear on the covers of magazines. These men, members of the legendary Red Squadron of Navy SEALs, were about to embark on a mission that would alter the course of history forever. They were set to carry out one of the most daring military operations of the 21st century. Welcome to our channel. For nearly a decade, the world's most wanted man had become a phantom. Osama bin Laden, the architect behind the catastrophic September 11th attacks, had successfully eluded capture. Intelligence agencies devoted billions of dollars and dispatched thousands of operatives in relentless pursuit, chasing leads that often led to dead ends across barren deserts and treacherous mountain ranges. The breakthrough that would turn the tide in this manhunt did not stem from traditional surveillance techniques, but rather from a single thread: a trusted courier named Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti. Through careful and patient observation, intelligence analysts tracked him to a seemingly innocuous compound in Abatab, a fortress far larger than the neighboring homes. Fortified with 18-foot walls adorned with barbed wire, monitored by surveillance cameras, and occupied by individuals whose lack of visible income raised eyebrows. Committing the cardinal sin of isolation, the residents burned their trash and kept to themselves, leading analysts to believe that the compound was designed to conceal someone of immense significance. However, pinpointing bin Laden's location was just one facet of an intricate puzzle. Successfully infiltrating his hideout necessitated traversing Pakistani airspace without authorization, right above a military academy in a nation armed with nuclear weapons. The undertaking demanded not only military precision, but also extraordinary political bravery. With warriors trained to operate in utter darkness, Admiral William McRaven of the Joint Special Operations Command selected the elite Red Squadron, the most seasoned operators from SEAL, Team 6, who were not only lethal, but also exemplified psychological resilience, discretion, and the capacity to adapt instantly in the face of unforeseen hurdles. The preparations for the assault were characteristically meticulous. At Harvey Point in North Carolina, the SEALs trained on an exact replica of the Abbottabad compound, constructed from satellite imagery that outlined every courtyard, stair, and window, enabling them to navigate it even blindfolded. Following that, they conducted further exercises at altitude in Nevada to simulate helicopter maneuvers, finally undertaking rehearsals at Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan to replicate real combat conditions. The pilots, encountering the stealth-modified Blackhawks for the first time, adjusted to flying machines that were airily angular and built for silence. These ghost helicopters, born from rigorous black programs, prioritized low observability over agility and demanded pilots with unparalleled skill. The operation, which would become known as Operation Neptune Spear, featured a careful balancing act of geopolitical maneuvering and the implementation of cutting-edge technology. Every aspect of the mission, from weather conditions, approach routes, to timelines, was scrutinized down to the last minute. For months, surveillance teams monitored the compound for behavioral patterns. A man pacing in the courtyard matched bin Laden's height and build. Reinforced walls stood guard, and no trash was ever left for collection. As the time of launch approached, the mood among the operators remained professional and focused. They lifted off under cover of darkness, their stealth helicopters creating minimal visibility on Pakistani radar, all while heading toward a target that held the potential to end years of anguish, fear, and uncertainty. As the lead helicopter descended into the compound's narrow courtyard, reality diverged from their rehearsed plans. The concrete walls created erratic air currents that interfered with the helicopter's descent. The lead craft, known as Chalk 1, lost stability and crashed into the courtyard in what pilots would later term a controlled crash. The tail rotor struck the wall, sending blades shattering into the air, and the helicopter halted violently. Panic threatened to engulf the team as sparks ignited and the prospect of mission failure loomed large in those initial, harrowing seconds. Yet these operators, forged in the fires of relentless training and preparation, sprang into action. Crash drills had become second nature, ingrained into their muscle memory. They emerged from the wreckage, weapons poised and formation intact. The second helicopter, witnessing the crash, quickly adjusted. It landed outside the compound walls, allowing its team to breach from an alternate approach. In a moment where chaos could have reigned, improvisation and disciplined resolve supplanted panic. What might have marked a desperate end for the mission transformed, through sheer grit and training, into the beginning of success. Inside the compound, chaos erupted for those confident in their security. The SEALs executed breaching charges and tactical maneuvers with impressive rapidity. At the guest house, the courier Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti made a final stand, only to be killed in the ensuing skirmish. Children and a frightened woman stumbled from the turmoil, grim reminders of the human cost that shadows any military action. On the first floor, another courier and his wife were discovered, resulting in brief but intense gunfire. Khalid bin Laden, one of Osama's sons, confronted the operators on the stairwell and was also neutralized. The SEALs advanced systematically, room by room, employing night vision technology to make darkness there. And allowing their months of rehearsal to inform every decisive gesture. Finally, on the third floor, they reached the culmination of their pursuit. Osama bin Laden, the man synonymous with terror for so many, reached for a weapon. The confrontation lasted mere heartbeats. The SEALs, trained operators at the pinnacle of their profession, faced a man softened by years of hiding. A single, precise shot claimed his life. Through the radio came a phrase that would resonate across the globe. For God and country. Geronimo, discode, communicated mission success. A conclusion to nearly 10 years of an exhaustive manhunt that had drained countless resources, fueled imaginations, and deepened the sorrow of so many. Yet the mission's significance extended beyond that singular shot. While bin Laden's death symbolized an essential moral and strategic victory for many, the SEALs discovered a wealth of intelligence that would amplify the importance of their operation. They collected computers, hard drives, thumb drives, notebooks, videotapes, and personal documents, totaling nearly 500,000 files that would reshape the understanding of Al-Qaeda's network, finances, and communications. As the SEALs frantically gathered the crucial intelligence, time was of the essence. Their 40-minute window to accomplish the mission dictated swift action. Outside, the wrecked stealth helicopter presented another layer of risk. The classified technology within could not afford to fall into foreign hands. A backup CH-47 Chinook arrived for extraction, while explosive charges were detonated to obliterate the downed aircraft. Most of the helicopter was reduced to debris. However, a portion of the tail section survived, later discovered by Pakistani authorities at dawn. Revealing classified elements and complicating diplomatic relations with an allied nation. In less than 1 hour, these 24 men achieved what decades of diplomacy and intelligence operations had failed to accomplish. They infiltrated sovereign airspace, adapted swiftly after a crash that could have spelt disaster, engaged and neutralized armed defenders, and eliminated the architect of the 9/11 attacks. Operation Neptune Spear epitomized the convergence of meticulous intelligence work, advanced technology, elite training, and extraordinary risk-taking by a select few. The images that followed the news headlines, conflicting narratives, political ramifications, and global reactions, ranging from celebration to condemnation, illustrated that while the death of one man does not extinguish an ideology, it can bring closure to an agonizing chapter and reshape the contours of an enduring conflict. The raid also surfaced uncomfortable realities. It was executed without the consent of the Pakistani government in close proximity to a major military installation. Civilians were caught in the crossfire. The debris from the downed helicopter prompted scrutiny regarding secrecy and issues of sovereignty. Yet for countless Americans, that night signified a moment of closure for the nearly 3,000 victims of terror and delivered a powerful message. Even the most fortified sanctuaries are vulnerable to relentless pursuit. Operation Neptune Spear continues to serve as a powerful illustration of contrasts. Meticulous planning intertwined with spontaneous improvisation. Classified technology pitted against human valor displayed in plain sight. A complex interplay of justice and controversy. It demonstrated how a small, highly skilled team could irrevocably alter the trajectory of history in a single night, while underscoring the notion that modern warfare demands both intelligence and special operations that can access locations where traditional military forces cannot reach, the repercussions of which can echo for years to come. History will remember that night not solely for the life that was lost, but for the intelligence treasure trove that was retrieved, the diplomatic ripples it generated, and the stark illustration of what a dedicated team can accomplish. When their purpose, skill, and preparation align, the operators who stepped into Abbottabad emerged with blood on their boots and the weight of a nation on their shoulders. They returned with invaluable evidence, poignant stories, and a mission completed. In doing so, they not only closed one painful chapter of early 21st century history, but also opened up questions about the future that lay ahead. Thank you for joining us. If you found this narrative compelling and wish to delve deeper into the events that have shaped our world, we invite you to explore more with us on Historic Horizons. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to support our work and ensure you never miss an upload. If you enjoyed this video, share your thoughts in the comments and spread the word to help us grow our historical community.